Come on in. Welcome to Idled Out, where we talk all things Survivor. My name is Luke, and today we're talking about everything you need to know heading into the Survivor 47 premiere. In less than 2 weeks, the 47th season of Survivor will premiere on CBS, and I know there's a lot of press and analysis out there competing for your eyes and attention in such a short time span. So I thought I'd throw together a quick video rounding up everything we know about the season so far, including basic stuff like the premiere date and notable members of the cast, but also some things which I feel have gone underreported, including the disappearance of one particular staple of the new era, and the return of a particular fan favorite challenge from seasons past. Here's what you need to know about Survivor 47 before the premiere. Let's start with our basics. When is Survivor 47 on? Survivor 47 premieres in less than 2 weeks, on Wednesday, September 18th at 8 p.m. on CBS. Buckle in because it's a 2-hour premiere, with the rest of the season being 90 minutes, like Survivor 45 and Survivor 46. Okay, we've got our vegetables out of the way. The next thing you should know about this season is this great cast. 18 brand new players divided into 3 tribes of red, blue, and yellow, playing for 26 days. The tribes are broken down like this, but you should know that there are some notable players on this season. The headline is Jon Lovett, a former Obama speechwriter and probably one of the most famous podcasters alive. He hosts Pod Save America and Love It or Leave It. He's the guy you've seen all over the promos. He's easily the most famous person to play in the new era. I think Jon Lovett will be really interesting to watch. Even in the world of left-wing politics, he's a somewhat divisive figure. Come back in a week for my full breakdown of how I think he'll do in my cast analysis, but it's almost certain that at least one person will recognize him. And in general, I'll just say I think he's got an uphill battle ahead of him. My thought is CBS is getting those sound bites in while they can. There's another podcaster on this season, although not as famous as Jon Lovett. Asia Welch of Rob Has a Podcast fame. I'm sure many of you know that Asia's a reality TV podcaster on RHAP, but this doesn't appear to be an angle the show's leaning into at all. It's not brought up in any of her on-island interviews so far. There are a few RHAP fans on the cast, so it's a given that at least 1 or 2 people on this season will recognize Asia as well. I'm a lot more bullish on her chances than Jon Lovett's. A few of these players have been alternates on past seasons. Rachel was the female alternate for Survivor 46, and Tiana was the female alternate for Survivor 45. I can only imagine how mad she was when Hannah quit 3 days in because she missed hitting the vape. One last player this season I'd like to highlight is Sue Smay, a 59-year-old flight school owner from New York. At 59, if Sue wins, she would be the oldest person to win Survivor ever, and I think she's worth rooting for just for that reason alone. Look at that stance. She's gonna run this island. A few more players of note. There's an ER doctor, sports reporter, esports commentator, construction worker, and a token Canadian. Overall, I really like this cast. I wish we had a few more people over 40, or even better, over 50, but I think there's a really solid mix of players and personalities here. Come back next Sunday for my full cast analysis. The next thing you should know about this season is the new era staple that is no more. Sweat vs. Savvy is gone. Or at least different? This is something I think most of us have been wanting for a while. To me, it was fun the first few times, but it just kind of ended up feeling like a weird video game side quest at the start of the season. Them dumping this 7 seasons in isn't super surprising to me. The last 2 seasons, players really struggled with the Sweat vs. Savvy tasks. And I think in general, you're just not going to get anything more entertaining than Q and Jelinski doing this last season. Survivor often retires twists once they kind of hit their maximum entertainment value. Exile Island getting retired after Coach took a visit there comes to mind. And Q and Jelinski was just peak Sweat vs. Savvy. They probably got rid of this because why try to top perfection? Or maybe they just didn't want any more props broken. There is something replacing Sweat vs. Savvy, however. A quote, Indiana Jones style test where tribe members have to earn camp supplies and come back either as a hero or a failure. This sounds like much less of a time sink than Sweat vs. Savvy, both in the edit and on the island, so color me intrigued. The next thing you should know about this season is the theme. Like every New Era season, there is not a theme, but we can speculate on the season's soft theme from the logo and the previews we've seen. The more recent New Era seasons have a soft theme baked into their logo and set design and sometimes challenges, and this is something I'd really like to see them lean into more. Survivor 45 had the medieval theme with the logo and the sword and shield immunities and the castle-esque tribal council. Survivor 45 had the bird theme, and Survivor 46 had this Asian-inspired tribal council with geckos all over the set design. It stands to reason that Survivor 47 will continue this, and right now we know what the logo and immunity idols look like. The logo is kind of giving graveyard to me, but then there were all these blacksmiths all over the original preview that aired at the end of 46, so I'm not sure. I think like a graveyard or spooky cave theme would be awesome though. We'll just have to wait and see. The last thing you should know about Survivor 47 is the return of a classic Survivor challenge, the Survivor Auction. After this was basically broken by the Season 30 cast, the auction was retired, and I personally thought it would never come back. But in Survivor 45, it made a surprise return to much fanfare in a slightly retooled way. In Survivor 45, advantages were no longer at the auction to incentivize players to buy the food items and spend their money, lest they not be able to vote at the next tribal council. I'd imagine the auction in Survivor 47 is going to be similar to its 45 iteration. You can probably expect it shortly after the merge, and my guess is it will be in a slightly retooled fashion like 45. This is definitely something to celebrate though. Everyone loves the Survivor auction. Except maybe Bruce. There you have it. A quick guide on everything we know heading into Survivor 47's upcoming premiere. You should most definitely join me next week for my full cast assessment, where I'll go deep into every player's backstory and give my thoughts in depth on how each player will play, where they'll place, and how they'll do. I'll give my winner pick and my first boot pick, and hand out some Survivor superlatives along the way. See you then. Got nothing else for you. What are you excited about for this season? Who are your favorite cast members? Let me know in the comments. Until next time, don't get idled out.